Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't have to, and today we are talking about SoFi's SOFI stock and SoFi technology as a whole to determine if it's a good buying opportunity right now. Will SoFi stock go to the moon? We're also going to talk about the latest news developments for SoFi Technologies and the latest forecasts by analysts. After that, we're going to talk about how some analysts are extremely bullish on SoFi Technologies and how some analysts are going to continuously talk down about it despite the good news from their bank charter. We're also going to talk about how SoFi's bank charter is going to increase their revenues all the way out until 2025 and beyond, and how the company plans to scale until then. And then lastly, we will go over the price predictions for the overall stock. Remember to smash the like button for more SoFi stock videos, subscribe if you are new, comment your thoughts down below about SoFi Technologies, and now let's get right into today's stories. So first off, I want to say that SoFi Technologies, ticker symbol SOFI, currently trades at a stock price of around $15. The low end price target according to analysts is $17, the average price consensus is $22, and the high-end price prediction is $28. Now, these are just from the analysts that I have studied. However, we're going to go over new analyst price predictions in this video, and some of these may change. If you didn't know, SoFi is a financial technology company that allows people to access home loans, student loans, auto loans, loan refinancing, and brokerage services such as investing into stocks as well as cryptocurrencies. And recently, their SOFI share price has skyrocketed around 14% because of their long-awaited bank charter announcement that they have recently come out with. So this has really excited and ignited investors, and this has caused money to flood into the stock and company. If you don't know what I'm talking about, basically SoFi just got approval from the government as well as the Federal Reserve to become a bank. This means that SoFi is transitioning their business model from one of a pure lending platform or a pure lending company or organization to a diversified financial services company that can now operate as its own independent bank. The pie chart below in these graphs will signify what this means for SoFi's revenues and how this is going to diversify SoFi as well as scale their overall stock growth as well as their operations in general. So we can see currently SoFi is right here. They're getting about 621 million net revenues of adjusted net revenues for 2020, and we can see that they are not very diversified. The majority of their revenues is coming from lending, then 17% of the revenues came from their tech platform, and then only 2% is from their financial services. However, with this bank charter, SoFi Technologies is going to be way more diversified and get way more adjusted net revenues, all the way up to $3.7 billion of adjusted net revenues. And they are much more diversified now, so now they don't have to rely solely on lending. Lending would make up around 43%, which would bring them around $1.6 billion in 2025. For their technology platform, they would be raking in around 25% or $911 million for their technology platform, and their financial services has skyrocketed from 2% to 32% for their financial services, and this is just going to make SoFi an overall better company, and it's going to make them very well rounded to compete with other legacy banks. So on a percentage basis, how is this bank charter going to help SoFi scale their revenues? Well, analysts think that this will help SoFi scale their revenues by around 40% year over year through 2023, which is absolutely fantastic. And I don't think the market has fully caught on to really what this bank charter means, so this could be amazing news for the overall stock price. We've already seen the stock price surge around 14 to 17% already, but this is just the beginning because SoFi is going to benefit from this bank charter year after year. The current stock price is down around 40% from its highs of around $23, and this sell-off has been consistent across all technology and innovation stocks. However, this doesn't make sense because the reason for this sell-off is because the Federal Reserve is increasing interest rates, which is discounting future free cash flows of growth and innovation and technology companies, and also because the 10-year Treasury bond rates are also increasing as well. So this has had investors take their money out of speculative growth stocks or newer companies such as SoFi Technologies and put it into safer investments such as bonds. However, this is actually fantastic news for SoFi on multiple reasons, because now that SoFi has their approval for their bank charter, once SoFi becomes a standalone banking institution, these interest rate increases are going to help SoFi Technologies and not necessarily hurt them. This increase in interest rates are going to help a plethora of various financial technology companies, including SoFi, because as the rates increase overall, SoFi gets to charge a higher rate for the loans that they end up giving out, and SoFi again gets the majority of the revenues from lending. So this is actually going to benefit SoFi SoFi greatly, and I can't wait to see this reflected in their quarterly earnings reports after the Federal Reserve increases interest rates in March. The SoFi stock has also been a popular pick among Reddit users as well as very popular among retail investors, including myself, and I absolutely love SoFi, and that's why I am personally invested into this company. SoFi also has a decently high short interest of around 8%. However, I think that we don't need to worry about the short interest until this gets above 10%, and then we should really start paying attention. However, other analysts and retail investors think that because of this bank charter catalyst, this could cause a reversal in the SoFi stock price, and it could stop downtrending and now start to grow despite the overall tech sell-off. So this news has invigorated retail investors, and it's very exciting. But now let's talk about the recent news. Once SoFi finalizes their deal with Golden Pacific Bancorp and they become a fully fledged bank, this is going to be another catalyst for this stock, so we could expect another pop around February. Analysts of Wall Street are decently positive on the stock, and even an institution as prestigious as Morgan Stanley has increased their price target for SoFi stock from $20 all the way up to $28. Rosenblatt also has a $30 price target for SoFi stock, which is going to give investors fantastic upside potential over the next 12 months. Now, what I do want to add is that SoFi needs to break above $16.49 for this reversal to actually be solidified and reflected in the charts. Right now, we can see that the stock is downtrending due to the macroeconomic factors of increasing interest rates from the Federal Reserve as well as increasing bond rates from the 10-year Treasury bonds. So if SoFi can break above $16.49, we could see a full reversal happening and the stock starting to trend upwards again, which would be fantastic. However, if it does not break $16.49, the stock could continue to fall all the way down to $12, which would be its next support level according to these statistics and technical analysis. I also want to touch on what other institutions think of SoFi stock. For instance, Goldman Sachs still has a neutral rating for SoFi stock with a price target of around $16. Zacks Investment Research has shares of SoFi pegged at a sell rating. Citigroup has a buy rating on SoFi stock with a price target of $20. Other institutions have decreased their price target for SoFi from $30 down to $17, which really doesn't make any sense to me. However, Oppenheimer, which is one of my favorite institutions to get adequate and accurate price targets from, has increased their shares and price target for SoFi Technologies from $23 to $28, and they actually have an outperform rating on the stock right now, which is fantastic news. Also, according to MarketBeat, the company has a consensus buy rating from all analysts and institutions overall on average, with a price target of $21.70. But I do want to highlight Wedbush, which is another institution that I highly respect, and a 5-star analyst had to say this about SoFi Technologies, and he says, "The company is a one-stop shop for financial services, and this is a significant competitive advantage over neobank competitors who tend to focus on niche offerings rather than the full financial picture. And because of this, SoFi is more than well positioned to compete with legacy banks and other legacy finance providers. Traditional banks just do not do it all, and this makes the traditional banking systems out of date because SoFi is involved in cryptocurrencies to various degrees while traditional banks are not." Despite the stock falling, the company itself that should reflect in the stock price is growing at a rapid pace. They are already rapidly growing their members from 1 million to 1.7 million to 3 million members recently, which is absolutely amazing. Their revenue growth has also been impressive, clocking in about $600 million last year to almost $1 billion of revenue for the full year of 2021, and that is expected to be solidified in their most recent earnings report that is coming up here soon. For the next 5 years, SoFi has a 5-year plan to attain revenues in 2025 of $3.7 billion, which means that analysts would anticipate a 5-year compounding annual growth rate for their revenues of around 28. However, if we are taking the $3.7 billion, this would actually represent a compounding annual growth rate above 28%, so this is another thing that investors can look forward to as the company continues to scale. We're also going to see what other analysts think of this stock, and this data is from TipRanks. Out of 10 analysts that are currently reviewing the stock, 7 analysts say the stock is a clear buy right now, and and 3 say to hold the stock, while no analyst from these 10 say to sell it. The average price target among these analysts is $21.40, which would give these stocks a 56% upside growth potential if you would invest into the company right now. We can also see that these 10 analysts are very high-ranking analysts. We have a 5-star analyst, and we also have a 3.5 to 4-star analyst right here, and we can see that their price targets are $20, $30, and $17, all of which, these 3 specifically, have buy ratings, and these are our corresponding upside potential if we would invest in the stock right now. Ideally, we would want to acquire SoFi shares below $16, which is the low price target according to analysts. So if we could get SoFi stock at around $14 per share, that would be ideal because it gives us a fantastic margin of safety until $16. However, the stock price, we would want to go to around $17 because then from there we could go to the average price target of $21.40, and then once we break that, we could head to $30. However, this is just speculation and we really don't know as of yet, because if it doesn't break $16.49, that means we could see it go all the way down to $12, which could give us a better investing opportunity if we could average down to $12. However, $14 would be an ideal price, or basically anything below $16, because that is the low end price target. On average, we are looking at 36% upside just for the average price target, and again, I think SoFi and the overall company is going to benefit greatly from this. However, the stock price is continuously climbing. As you can see over here to the left of the screen, we've already jumped around 14% again, up to $15.73, no longer $14, so we are definitely headed to that low end price prediction. But I want to hear your thoughts. How high do you think SoFi stock will go? I want to hear your price predictions and your strategies for SoFi stock. Remember to smash the like button if you haven't already, subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next YT video.